Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Crypto Entrepreneurs Podcast with your host, Charles. Enjoy.
Today we've got a good one for you, but before we get into it, just a quick word from our sponsors, Dudex. So Dudex is a new cryptocurrency derivatives trading platform that aims to provide a fair and professional experience for its users. With third-party market makers and no exchange token or internal trading desks, Dudex creates transparency and puts the customers first. A couple of the features on Dudex include 100x leverage trading, perpetual swaps without expiry date and daily settlement, 100,000 TPS per contract, and most importantly, no KYC. That's right, every crypto trader's favorite words, no KYC. Sign up with the link in the description below to start trading today and receive up to $100 in free Bitcoin when you make your first deposit. Happy trading, guys. What is up, guys? It's your host, Charles, and this is episode 45 of the Crypto Entrepreneurs Podcast. Today we're sitting down with an absolute legend. You've probably seen him on Twitter if you're on Twitter. His name's Bitlord, and he's really a renaissance man of crypto. He has done it all. He's been in the space since 2012, so 7+ years. He's hosted trading competitions. He's grown businesses and started businesses. He live streams. You've probably seen a couple of those. They get pretty wild. And he's got some big plans for the future. So today we're just going to be talking about, what he's done past and present, where he sees this industry going and what his plans are. And then we're going to talk about how he does it. Because again, he's really done it all. And so we're going to get some insights on how you can do the same. But I don't want to get too much into it, so let's let him take it away. So, Bitlord, you're a bit of a crypto OG. Can you just give us a little background on what you were doing before you found cryptocurrencies, just so my audience can kind of get a feel for who you are?
I was in the oil and gas industry. I did an apprenticeship when I was younger. I was a Boilermaker coated welder. I was very good at what I did. I worked on pipelines, and then I started building ROVs, which are the big robotic operated vehicles that go down and play around the wellheads and stuff like that. It was a really cool industry. I loved it. And I started moving to the environmental side of things. So I became a lead auditor in environmental management systems. And it was about the same time that I was still working in the trade that I discovered crypto, and it was this huge opportunity. So I resigned from the oil and gas industry, and I went all in crypto, and that was 2012.
Yes, you've been around forever, and I don't know if everyone knows your backstory, but you were working in the oil and gas industry, kind of moved over to the environmental side, and we see you on Periscope and stuff. You're partying, you're having fun, but prior to that, you had this very serious job. So I appreciate you giving us just a little background. And then 2012, you just decided I'm going all in, and I'm gonna say it was probably the best decision of your life. And it's kind of it's kind of led you up to this point now, and everything you've done. Since I've seen you on Twitter, it's been crazy. I mean, you've worked on. I just want to do a quick rundown. You did, Whale Wars. I'm not sure if you're still working on any of this, but you did Whale Wars. You've got your algae company. You do trading, live streaming. You do it all. So can you just give us, can you walk us through everything, your kind of quote unquote crypto resume?
All right. So when I left oil and gas in 2012, a lot of it was to do with the health impacts of working in the industry, being exposed to the dust and things like that. It wasn't really like what I wanted long term. But at the same time, trying to get into oil and gas on that corporate level, there's just so much bullshit. Everyone's a fucking tosser, and I couldn't stand working in that environment. Like, I just wanted to, be myself and do what it is that I love. So, the crypto opportunity was huge. And I spent some time in crypto, and then I started a beef jerky company that did really well at the same time that I was in crypto. And that was an awesome experience as well. But throughout the years, I've tried like a few different things. Not everything has worked, but it's all of these lessons and experience that I've taken away from that that has been, the most rewarding out of everything. So the Whale Wars it was like a trading competition. I wanted something. This is what I wanted. I wanted somewhere where I could trade like, poker style. I could buy into a big pot, like a tournament. We could build that pot and then have these trading tournaments where there's huge money on board and everybody's just like going crazy, pushing themselves to the limit with high leverage, trying to get the biggest return on investment to take out the pot. That was the basic idea behind Whale Wars. So I just started tweeting. I was like, I need a developer. I need to, some people to work with. And everything just literally came from Twitter. And, we've got this system now that plugs straight into BitMEX. Everything looks really cool, but it never really took off. We got some good numbers in. I think we've got like a couple thousand users and stuff. But the problem is with Whale Wars, you need to understand like the crypto community. And for something like that to really gain traction, it needs to be partnered with an exchange. So we started working with exchanges early on. We sent out a lot of documentation, like the full blueprint as like an esports gaming, like gamified trading to these exchanges, like pitching, because we needed them on board as a partner. But the problem was, when they have this information, they don't need us anymore. They can go ahead and execute what they like. So you'll actually see like a lot of these exchanges trying this thing now. They're pretty much trying to do what we originally started, and it's a pretty cool thing. But I feel like none of them are going to be able to truly pull it off and do it fantastic. So I'm hoping something develops. So that's a bit of a background behind Whale Wars.
You've also got, are you still doing that algae company? I know you were going off on it for a while on Twitter. I haven't seen too much of it lately. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, that's definitely a thing, man. I mean, the problem with that is like I get so excited about something and I want to go. And then when I start meeting any roadblocks or things that are slowing it down, I get frustrated because I just want to go 100 miles an hour. So the algae is still a thing. It's going good, but getting the algae into the country, into Australia through biosecurity, you need import permits to get these commercial quantities through. It's very tough to get these things. I've been going back and forth for a while now, trying to get them. And it's been quite a learning curve. So I've got like a couple 100 kilos of algae that have been returned to back to the labs that they've come from until I can get these import permits through. So I'm in the States now, and I'm having to ice some of that because of the project I'm working on now. But I've still got like a whole bunch of personal supply that I'm using. I'm on this stuff every day, but I don't want to really push it and go too hard until I get it through the country. I can contract manufacture, process this stuff, get it into my my shipping station, and then pump it out. So it's like, just being patient on it, not getting stressed about that, and going, look, you know what? I'm going to get back from the States. I'm going to have these permits, get this stuff in, process it, label it, brand it, and it's going to be out there. And that'll be the day you see me on Twitter every day. I'll be back on that stuff, man, because it is amazing. It really does work, and it'll change your game up. So that's a bit of the background behind algae. And look, no one's doing it yet, and it's a huge market. The algae industry is growing exponentially, much like the crypto industry. Algae's big. You get the big pharma companies are trying to move in. They're trying to regulate it, which is always a good sign. So that's what's happening.
Yeah, man. I mean, with everything that you talk about, it's kind of like you seem to be ahead of the curve a bit. You, in 2012, got into crypto, got out of the oil and gas industry. You talked about how at a corporate level, it was kind of all bullshit. And I agree with you. I was working at a bank. It's a suit and tie job. I sat at my desk every day and I couldn't do it. So I left myself. And then you talked about moving on to that beef jerky company you had, and then Whale Wars and the algae company. I haven't seen too much of it on Twitter, and I don't think anyone else has either, but you talk about how they're still, kind of in the background. You're still churning along and trying to keep yourself from going, 100 miles an hour. You really just got to sit back a little bit, work on it, wait for things to align, and then you said you're going to be, getting it out there to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And I like what you talked about with Whale Wars and this kind of gamification of things. And you were pretty early on that. I didn't really see anyone else doing that. You know, I've seen Whale Wars as early as last year, maybe a little bit longer than that. And, you know, now I just recently had Sam from FTX, the new exchange, on. He was talking about the gamification of crypto, the battle royale that they're doing right now.
That's it, man. Where do you think they got it from? I mean, I was speaking to Sam in email a couple of weeks ago, and I originally I saw what they were doing, and I reached out and said, hey, you know, because I didn't know what stage they were at, and I said, you know, like, I can really help you with this. We've, you know, built this. We've got like a whole framework document. We've pretty much got an esports league mapped out, how to go ahead, structure it, start it, do all that sort of stuff. And he said, yeah, sure. You know, like, get in contact with the guys. I got in contact with the guys, and then I saw how much they had done. I'm like, well, hold on, this is interesting. Like, how the fuck did you come up with this idea? Like, this is literally word for word the document that I've sent out to all these exchanges. And I'm like, no way. That is way too much of a coincidence that I cannot accept. So I looked into it more. We had FTX staff in the Whale Wars room around about the time that they said they started planning it. So I start connecting the dots, and I start looking. I'm like, there is no doubt these guys got hold of that document, and they're executing that. So I actually spoke to Sam about that, and he said, look, even if we did, there's nothing we can do about it. Pretty much, you know, get the fuck over it. So I've got no respect for these guys. You know, they're guys that run, they're traders that are trading against their customers on their exchange. That's what they've set that thing up for. So, you know, when they're going ahead and they're doing that, I'm watching it, and there's no integrity. You know, there's nothing to it. There's no substance. So it's like, I want to see it done successfully, but, you know, not by like pretty much fucking scammers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's pretty unfortunate. I feel like, you know, this is a blooming industry, and that tends to happen. Everyone's kind of trying to grab their piece of the pie, but, you know, you've got so much other shit going on that, you know, I don't think, I mean, it's shitty, but I don't think it's, you know, something that's going to stop you. You know, you've got this.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You've got this.
It's just like more, Whale Wars is more of a project. It's not like I was, you know, going crazy on just one thing and hedging my bets and everything like that. Whale Wars is something that I had a good idea, like a dream that, you know, we could all get together as traders and have like these poker style tournaments. That was the thing. And I'm like, well, why don't we get this done? You know, the period of trading was so quiet. It's like, I need to do something. Or you're sitting there staring at the charts all day, and it's like, you know what, I've done a few things. What am I like passionate about? So I thought we'll do it like that. So it's like an exciting project. And, you know, it's like what I'm saying beforehand, what you take away from these experiences is like the real sort of valuable thing. So, you know, we've learned a lot from that, and going through, you know, from start to where we are now, it's just adding to my experience for whatever other project I'm doing. So, yeah, it's like, you know, the industry is the industry, you know, so some people, they do their things, and you just keep moving, you keep doing your thing, man. You can't let anything stop you.
Exactly. And I really like what you're talking about with this whole, you've learned from all these experiences. I actually had Bitcoin Birch on to talk about, you know, failures and how they can lead to your next success. That was a solid episode. So, I mean, dude, you've done it all. Can you just give us, because, you know, you've got 15 different things going on. Can you just give us a tip or a couple tips on how you stay on top of it? Maybe some resources that you use. And then secondly, can you talk about why, you kind of touched on it for a second, but can you talk about why it's so important to not just focus on one single project, and to actually have, you know, a plethora of these projects going on?
Okay, we'll start how, you know, why and how we have so many things going on. It's like, well, traditionally, like coming into crypto, my thing was full-time trading, 24/7. You know, I'd go days without sleep, and I'd just burn myself out. And no more, you know, I won't say those days again. You know, we'd stay up like 3, 4, I think 5 days was like my best effort of no sleep, just trading. You start to see and hear shit by that stage. Second day, you start to see shit, man. And
you're a psychopath.
Well, I think we all are if we're pushed to that, you know. So, you know, it's like it got to a stage where I realized if you want to be a trader, it's like the less trading you do, the better. The more that you can, it's all about patience. It's all about managing your emotions, and taking it when it's there, and when it's not there, not allowing any other outside or external pressure to put you into that trade. So having goals and having this and that, it's ridiculous. Like, if you can take it or leave it, it's one of the most powerful things in trading. So I just started looking at other things to do that could distract me from trading, so I could take more of a third person perspective on the market, and not have all of those influences and emotions going on me. So projects are a really good thing to be able to do that as a trader. And then naturally, you sort of develop this entrepreneurial mindset where you want to try different things, and it just sort of goes from there. So, every sort of project has a different time frame or different goals. So it's like with this algae thing, it's like, I know it's going to take some time. I'm in the States now. I'm working my ass off with this exchange right now. And it's like, well, when I get back to Australia, I can, go ahead, resolve some of these things with biosecurity and, then get back onto that. I don't need to stress about it because there's nothing immediately pending for that. It's not like, doom or gloom if I don't get it done tomorrow. It's like a long-term project, and it's going to be worth it when it's done. So it's just having that patience and, having everything on a time frame, and not really getting down or frustrated, when you're not hitting your target or your goals, because some things are out of your control and you just need to adapt. So, that's how I look at it. In terms of like managing, time for these things, I don't really have any scheduling app or anything like that. I mean, if you're scheduling, Calendly is a good one, but it's all just sort of like a lot of old school. I do things pretty old school. I like to keep it like that.
I appreciate that. I've got a kind of whiteboard calendar, just lays out my month. I write on there. I don't really use any of these apps, but you talked about Calendly. And I really like what you were saying about the fact that, trading 24/7, staying up for 4-5 days at a time, it'll really burn you out really quickly. And so you needed to kind of step back, find some stuff that could take your mind off the market and give you this, second perspective or third perspective that you needed, which then, adds to your trading arsenal, and makes you a better trader at the same time. And then, with the algae company, everything's kind of just chugging along. Nothing's, there's no really hard deadlines on anything. So it lets you kind of relax. And then lastly, I mean, personally for me, I've got, a couple different businesses going on. A couple of them are outside of crypto completely. And yep. I just want my audience to understand that not everything's going to work out. I've had people on here who are killing it now, who absolutely blew it, total disaster on previous projects. And so if you put all of your eggs into one single basket and it doesn't work out, you're left with nothing. And this, like I've said a few times, this industry is blossoming, it's blooming. There's, money to be made everywhere. So if you cast a wide net, you're gonna be successful in one of them. But to put all of your eggs in one basket, it's kind of dangerous. So I would suggest, and it sounds like you're doing it, is to spread your basket, spread your net, and just try as many different things as possible. One of them will work out. So, I mean, I really appreciate you walking us through kind of your previous projects, your resume, giving us some tips on how to stay on top of it. Can we talk about what you're doing moving forward and, what's in your pipeline for the next 12 or so months? What are you excited for?
Yeah, so now it's like I feel like I've done a lot of hard yards in crypto, going through, some real crazy times. And now I want to look after myself. I want to look after, my body and my health, do things a lot differently as I've done before. So that's a big focus for me, and making sure that I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I just want to be enjoying what I'm doing. I want to be passionate about whatever I'm working in. That's like my number one thing. So as long as I'm doing that, I'm happy. So like right now, a big thing for me is I really enjoy marketing. I really enjoy producing content that I feel like you will be able to do things differently. So I've got a really good opportunity now working with an exchange in Austin, Texas. That's where I'm based at the moment. And I'm just sort of like structuring the marketing campaigns like into 2020 to really, get this exchange off the ground, get it out there. So that's it's going to give me the freedom and the opportunity to, go ahead and grow this exchange. And I like the startup environment. It's a whole new challenge. I mean, I'm staying with the CEO now, and we're working every day, and the level that this guy works, it's impressive. And I'm taking a lot of tips and tricks away from that, and I'm trying to apply it to areas throughout my life. So that's like pretty much the next couple weeks, months, and from that, mate, I mean, we'll see. I mean, yeah, I know what I want to do, regarding the algae and a couple other projects that I'm not going to go into right now. There's Molly's on the cards for 2020. That's going to be a big one. So it's just, taking things as they go and enjoying myself, mate. That's number one.
Yeah,
looking
definitely
after myself.
Enjoying yourself, staying healthy, keeping yourself fit and active. And you talked about the fact that you enjoy marketing, and you've marketed yourself extremely well on Twitter. I think everyone on crypto Twitter knows your name. They've seen your videos. And you said you're working with this new exchange, or with the CEO now in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
We got to get him on. I've had a couple other guys who have founded or created exchanges. So maybe we can talk offline, get him on. We got to see, what are they doing different? It almost seems like there's a new crypto exchange every other day, every other week. So we'll get him on. We'll talk about, what they're doing differently. I'm excited with that. And then, like you said, your other projects, you got the algae company that's still, chugging along in the background. You mentioned Molly. I think everyone on Twitter has been waiting for it.
Ripple One.
Yeah, I was going to say
that
XRP fork. We got to get that out as well.
Yeah. That's in the stealth phase right now, so
there we go, keeping it low key. I like it. I'm looking forward to everything that you're going to be putting out. I'm excited that things are going to kind of start coming together. I hope to see you back on Twitter and bring that liveliness that you bring to Twitter. Things have been a little bit dead lately. And I'm just really excited for you and what you've got going on in the next month. So we've talked about this industry kind of exploding. You've got all these different things that you've done, that you're currently doing, and what you're going to be doing. And so can you just give us, your biggest tip for coming out on top? Because I think we're right at the cusp of this explosion. We saw this huge increase in price. It kind of blew off, price declined. We've started to increase again. And this whole time we've seen people building in the background, and they've been building this infrastructure. Companies have been kind of growing and strengthening. So can you just give my audience your biggest tip for, how to come out on top?
So like times like now, I have a different perspective to a lot of the market players, because I have that long established like roots throughout the market. And for me now, it's like I'm already established through crypto. It's more like now's not the time for me to trade. There's been a few, very decent opportunities in the altcoin market. Definitely not touching Bitcoin. There's nothing to trade in Bitcoin for me right now. You can just sit in spot or hedge whatever. There's no need to trade it. A few of these altcoin opportunities that you can take, and the rest of it, you just leave. You focus on building things. If you're going to sit there staring at the screen and trying to trade this crap, you're going to waste your months, your years. And it's all going to, you'll look back and you think, fuck, I could have really you've done something in this space, something that choose anything you're passionate about. Just start doing that. Whatever the market's doing, stages like this, it's irrelevant. You just need to keep focusing and not have the market a distraction. That's a big thing here. And you got to think, not just next year or the next couple months. You need to start thinking 5, 10, 15 years. Keeping your eye out. Look, if crypto's around in 10, 15 years, then obviously if you plan for that, things, you're going to be in quite a different position. But also keep an eye out for anything else that is coming up. Like, this shit could all go to zero tomorrow. Let's not kid ourselves. But, there's always going to be the next hot thing. And that's what I'm always looking for. So that's pretty much what I can say on that, mate.
Yeah, no, perfect tips. I mean, you've been in this market for 7 years. I don't know if when you started, you thought this was going to get to where it's at today. But, looking at 5, 10, 15 years from now, really starting and building something that will grow into this bigger company or bigger passion of yours. And then I like what you're talking about with, don't get caught up in the day-to-day of trading. I mean, some people clean house, they make excellent money trading, and I don't have any problem with that. They can sit there, stare at screens all day, every day. But I think for the vast majority of people, it's a waste of time. They're not going to be very successful. Their days, months, years will just pass them by, like you were saying, and they'll have nothing to show for it. So I think, my tip would be to kind of take a step back. Crypto moves very fast and you can really get caught up in things. So just take a step back, figure out what you're good at, and start building something for the long term. Which is, pretty much exactly what you were saying. So, I mean, I want to thank you for coming on. You talked about your past, you talked about the present and future. You gave us some great tips on how to really kill it in this industry. And I'm excited to see what you've got coming on or going on in the next, 12 months or so. So again, I really appreciate it, man. Before we go, I'm going to pull up Twitter really quick. I've been trying to do this lately where,
bring it.
where I do a Q&A at the end. And I don't know why nobody takes it seriously ever. Probably because I'm a jackass on Twitter. But let me find...
Well, the thing is, man, I think some of those questions, those savage questions, I think they are actually serious. So you can ask them all, bro. I'll answer them.
Yeah. There's some serious ones. There's some jokes. I'm just gonna go down the list and I'm gonna hit them all.
Do it.
So one guy, shit posting, tattoos, trading, algae. Is there anything you can't do?
I saw that. I had a bit of a laugh, man, and I guess it's like, whatever you want to do, just do it. It's like whatever your passion you want to pursue, it doesn't matter what level you're doing it, as long as you're doing it, it's going to keep you happy, man.
Hell yeah, man. All right, so Jared the motherfucking Blurby said
he's got his name.
Yeah, that's his. I mean, his actual handle is Jared the Realtor, but he says he'll definitely tune in. And he wants me to make you eat raw beef. Unfortunately, this is just audio, so I don't think we're going to be doing that.
Well, I had some sushi yesterday. It was pretty good. It's like eel with like crab. But mate, you know what? When we get some sort of real silly market action, it's going to bring it out in everyone. Everyone's going to be doing dumb shit, So we'll just be patient, we'll get there.
Yeah, you're king of it, and I can't wait for it. How old's baby Lambo Moon now?
It's actually Wolf Moon Lambo. That's my son's name.
All right, hold on. And not very Jimmy is the one who asked that. So not very Jimmy, get your shit straight.
Yeah, it's actually young Wolf Moon Lambo. He's nearly 8 months now, and strong, very smart. And he's come along good. I actually quite miss my kids right now. So yeah.
All right. Storm wants a new tattoo from you. He's got this whole crazy idea. We pick some coins and you get a new tattoo. But how about we just ask, when's the next crypto tattoo?
Well, mate, if he designs me a tattoo and I like it, I'll get it. I'll get it. But I've got a long list of and quite a lot of planning that I have for my crypto tattoos, but I want to take at least like a couple weeks off or something and just do some travel, go to different places around the world, build these designs and get them on there because I've got like a whole bunch of other concepts that I want to do at the same time, and I'm trying to blend them all in. Obviously it's a forever thing, man, so there's a lot goes into it. I mean, I started my sleeve fucked up in Vegas. So it's like now I'm going to be planning it a lot more meticulously. But still, I love my tattoos. I love them.
There we go. That kind of feeds into the next question. Ash Toshi asked if you regret any of the tattoos you've gotten.
Oh no, definitely not. And the thing is, like, you got to understand, it's like some of them are like, coin logo tattoos, but there's so much more meaning behind that. And even the logos themselves, they've been around, for thousands of centuries. They're actually, fractals in natures and things like that. So if you look at XRP, and so many dumb noobs like, XRP changed the logo now, you fucked. I'm like, bro, it doesn't matter to me. Like, for me, what the XRP means, having the history of XRP, it's just like, it means so much to me, and I love it. I love the logo. The logo is like a fractal in nature as well. So it's like, I love them. Definitely never regret them.
No, yeah, I have a full sleeve. I've got a chest tattoo. I've got a couple on my leg, and people ask, you ever gonna regret them? Because I've got the word cunt tattooed on my leg. So yeah, people ask me, you ever gonna regret that kind of stuff, or does it have any meaning? And you talk about, this deeper meaning that these have, but honestly, some tattoos really don't have to have meaning, in my opinion. They can just kind of be a reminder of that time in your life. And I'm never gonna look back and be like, oh God, I regret getting that tattoo. This was good times with good people. So I mean, fuck them. Crypto Blurbs wants to know why you blocked him.
It could be, okay, look, if someone's blocked by me, there's like, they've done some dumb shit, or it's like, if I posted, here's what gets you blocked. If I'm posting something and you're shilling referral links on my shit, or if I'm like talking about something and then you're just like completely being stupid about it, or whatever the case, that's the number one. Sometimes, like, I obviously, like, I enjoy trolling, a bit of humor myself, but there's levels to it. You know what I mean? And like a big one is shilling. I always block people for shilling. So that could be it. Or he's a scammer. So maybe he's a scammer. I don't know. I'll have to check.
No. I mean, I know this guy. He's not a scammer. He was posting a lot. What does he do? It's honestly just like for fun things. But he changed his avatar to this little pink blob and was going crazy with it.
I know the guy. Why the fuck did I block him? I've known him for years. Why did I block him?
He was going on a pretty crazy campaign of trying to get everyone to turn themselves into this little pink blob. So maybe he just got overwhelmed with it.
Well, it could have been Rhonda that done that as well. Like, I'll have to check up on that.
All right. So here's a serious one from Casper. Casper Bits his handle. What do you think is lacking in the crypto space, and then what's the future of crypto?
Okay, originality, because right now it's literally the fucking Clone Wars, mate. I mean, there's, it's like watching these exchanges. They all copy each other. They're like someone starts doing something, and then they all want to do it or something like that. And it's all like, it's almost like there needs to be like just something that really sparks some originality. It's like they need to step out and do things differently. Like, this space has become an echo chamber now. I'm not seeing anything new or anything unique in a lot of areas. There are obviously some things that are coming up, but other than that, it's like, these exchanges, organizations, companies, they're taking the piss out of users. Example, Coinbase with their fee structure right now, it's disgusting. I think the big thing is like, focusing on the people, bring it back to the people and the community. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, like you're saying, everyone kind of is just doing the exact same thing. It's all recycled material. One person does it great, everyone else copies them, trying to get a little bit of that money that's coming in. And then focusing on, the users, the people who make the crypto space great. It's the people, you and I, everyone else on crypto Twitter. This moving on, Tweaker Tees, he asked, just how do you do it? And that was pretty much this entire episode, so I don't think we need to go into that.
No, he's asked a question. Let me answer.
All right, yeah. How do you do it, man?
You just do you, just do you, be yourself, and that is all that matters. And a lot of people can say that, but then they don't really mean it, and they're just saying that for clout and to dick ride, man. So if you can really just do it, man, that's how it is. And that's how I do it, bro.
I respect that. Every quote unquote influencer I talk to, and
Man.
I ask them on the podcast, how do you do it? How do you get big?
My dick, motherfucker. Yeah,
bro,
it's like
they're just like, oh yeah, be yourself, bro. And then it's kind of
it's bullshit.
This facade that they put on Twitter.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's very everyone can see it. You know what I mean? And anyone that can't, it's just like up in the clouds, man. But that's what I'm saying. It's all about this originality, and everyone wants to be like, oh, be yourself. It's like, oh man, why are you saying that?
Yeah, if you're gonna say that, actually be yourself. Put yourself out there. Be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Be yourself. So let's see. Coin Inspectors wants to know when you're fucking selling.
I'm never fucking selling, bro. Come on. There's some things I will hold forever, and I mean forever, ever. It's like, is there an end game in that? Is there a price of that could tempt me? I asked myself that question, and I wonder, because it's like the whole reason I got into crypto was more than just the money. It's like, it's mine. I own it, and nobody can take it away from me. Absolutely no one, nothing. So that's it. You have this pride, and you have this sense of belonging to your crypto. It's more than that. So never fucking sell it, man.
Never. I appreciate that. I mean, I might sell on the way up as we go up. The bills get paid in USD. So I do have to.
Yeah, I mean, trading. We were talking about trading. Do I sell? Yeah, I buy and sell shit all the time, all that sort of stuff. But that question hits me deeper than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That to me is like a cash out question. When am I cashing out? What if I would or that? It hits me on that level.
Yeah. We got into this for like you were saying, it's your money. You're your own bank. It's more than just the dollars and cents. So I appreciate that. Let's see. There's a couple on here that are shills and questions about specific coins. I don't want to be shilling coins to my audience, so I'm going to skip those. We need a hard answer on the XRP fork. When is that coming up?
That's in stealth mode. It's like a lot of people are asking questions. Some people are coming into the Discord. They're saying, what are you going to be doing differently than Brad Garlinghouse? Well, I'll tell you what I'll be doing differently. I won't be dumping $250 million of coins on the community every quarter. That's a start, So end of the day, man, what I'm interested in XRP is their USD stable coins that they have, that they've talked about, that I think they're developing. I'm waiting for them to do all the work for me. And once I have that main feature, then it's easy. You can create an app. As long as you have the XRP, and then you can have a dollar stable in there, you have that mechanism. That's all we need. You don't need XRP anymore. As long as you have that, people can have an app in their phone. It is literally their own bank. So that's a big one. Let them do the work,
Yeah, sit back, relax, kind of let them take care of it, and then come in.
And I'll fork that shit. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right, we got two more from, we've got a bunch more, but Inverse Sista and Coinboy2 want to know, do you even lift, and when more topless videos?
Yeah, man. I actually do. I used to be a bodybuilder when I was younger. I was a pretty solid motherfucker, but these days more of a relaxed approach. I missed the gym yesterday. It was closed, and I need to get in there more, make it more of a structured thing. But also, things are crazy in this space. Anything can happen. And if you miss a workout, you miss or something like that, it can really get in the way of progress. You'll be surprised, what 2 days of no gym or no activity does to your body. You really do lose a lot of your strength. So yeah, I lift, and I want to be lifting more. What was his other question? What did he say?
This was from Coinboy2. He said, when will Bitlord do more topless videos? Because you said you lift, you used to be a bodybuilder. We see you on the timeline looking good, and we need these topless videos.
Well, mate, there's the next year when we have some Molly action going, there'll be a lot of it. I reckon I'll try get into this Instagram game, but do it crypto, do it right. You know what I mean? And you combine like, crypto, fitness, startups, this entrepreneurial shit, some algae, etc., etc. That's a pretty cool brand to rep on Instagram. So, when I'm getting to that stage, yeah, I'll put some of that out there.
Fuck yeah, I feel like people are gonna eat that shit up. Let's see, what else do we got? Keeping with the trend of lifting, what's the most you've ever bench pressed? You already answered that on Twitter. It was 105 kilograms. I don't know the conversion. Do you have any idea what that is in pounds?
Well, I'm generally, I've actually lost a couple of kilos. I'm 83 kilos now, which is about 180 pounds.
Okay.
So I think it would be 200 plus.
There we go.
I don't know exactly.
Perfect. Hambino17 asks why you changed your profile picture.
I don't know. I felt like something different, mate. I was like, like it got to the stage, like, a lot of the XRP noobs that they don't understand my history with Ripple. So, these guys that think that I'm actually fucking dumb. There's some guys out there that think I'm retarded. I think I do too sometimes, but not actually. And all this Ripple flack, everything. I'll put that profile picture up to show my commitment to Ripple because in it I've got a face tattoo of the XRP logo. So maybe we'll just like quieten some of these noobs for a bit, and then I'll come back to the cat. So it's just like a thing to like throw some of that heat off.
Yeah. Get your face out there, show that you've got that commitment, you've got those tattoos.
Yeah, on my face.
Exactly. On that mug. All right, what's your favorite drug?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, look, I've tried a lot of things like when I was younger, and obviously everybody has, but one of the big ones was, and that's actually helped me, has to be magic mushrooms. They've done a lot for me, and you'll see what they're doing in some of the US states and things like that. They're decriminalizing them, so they can help with anxiety, depression, all that sort of stuff. So that would be probably the number one because what it's done for me. Very positive.
I respect and appreciate that a lot. I love my psychedelics. I preach that everyone should try acid at least once. It's definitely my favorite, so kind of on the same wavelength there. We've got Mia Tam. She wants to know when XRP's hitting 589. We're getting impatient.
Well, now that we've obviously the success of the Stop Ripple Dumping campaign has reduced a couple $100 million off the market now. You see the recent report, they only dumped 66 mil rather than 250 mil. So the less that we're getting these guys to sell, the more opportunity for that upside growth. So I think that at this rate, if they keep building and they stop that dumping, I reckon we could probably be there in about the year 2080, if we're still around.
2080, I like it, and I appreciate the work that you're putting in for the community with the Stop Ripple Dumping. You're doing more than most, so I appreciate that.
That's it. Someone's got to do it, man.
Yeah.
And that's it. Sometimes sacrifices have to be made.
You get your shit for it, but you're out there, actually doing something for the community.
Exactly, man.
So last question here, and it's a comment first and then a question from Sinner Mass Fabrications. He asks, or first he says, if you go vegan again, I'll fucking slap you. And now that you're up the road, it's very possible. So my question is, are you eating meat again?
Yes, I am. And I look, I tell you what, the vegan thing has a very good case. And I have a lot of algae. And when I have the rest of it through the rest of these strains, I'll go 100% to algae. So I'll be better than a vegan. Vegans are like, they're like, everyone's a vegan these days. I'll be something more than a vegan. But right now I am eating meat. I do enjoy it, but I'm very selective. It's harder for me in the States because I don't have all my producers and things like that. But in Australia, I'm very selective of what meat I eat, where it comes from, how it's raised. I'm after that biodynamic stuff. And sometimes you can't get it. It's a convenience thing. So if you're doing a diet like that, it takes a lot of effort, and it comes down to time and convenience. It just sort of brought me back to my more traditional diet. But man, I love steaks. You cannot beat a big fat ribeye or a porterhouse, man. Like salt, pepper, nice medium rare. Can't beat it.
Medium rare. We see you eating them raw, man.
Well, it ain't alt season, is it?
Not yet. But no, I just went through. That's all the questions. I really appreciate you answering them. Some of them were a little silly. You took all of them serious, and I think everyone who's listening is going to appreciate that. So, again, thank you for coming on. Thank you for taking the time to kind of walk us through everything. And I really appreciate it, man.
Thanks very much, man. I've enjoyed being here, and I tell you what, like you run this whole thing really smooth. So, I'm gonna continue supporting and getting out there, man. And I'm actually gonna look forward to seeing a couple other guys on here, which would be really cool.
Hell yeah, man! I really appreciate that. And love that you're willing to support. Again, thank you. All right, guys, that wraps up another episode of the Crypto Entrepreneurs Podcast. I just want to say thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. The show's for you guys. I make it for you guys. And it wouldn't happen without you guys. So I really do want to thank you for that. And if you found anything in this episode helpful or any of the previous episodes that I've put out, can you just do me a huge favor and leave us a review? It would really help us out. And then on top of that, could you also share it with any friends, family, anyone on social media? If there's something that spoke to you in any of these episodes, I would really appreciate it if you could do that for us. So thanks again for listening, and hope to see you next episode.